Hi, my name is Kimberly Veal, and today I'm going to speak with you about collaborations and network strategies. First on the agenda, we have collaborations. I'm going to talk about formal and informal collaborations, differences between cooperation, collaboration, and coordination, networks, theories for collaborations, environmental analysis techniques, challenges, and best practice recommendations. For collaborations, the basic definition just refers to the process of partnering relationships. The general name can be referred to as strategic alliances, and strategic alliances are demanding and require large commitment of time and resources from every stakeholder involved. There are two basic forms of collaborations, formal and informal. For formal, two organizations might progress to operate formally by combining office space. This usually requires more time and energy. It's highly integrated, and an example of formal collaborations would be a joint program. This combines one or more programs for the purpose of strengthening the efforts of both organizations. The ARC of the United States and United Cerebral Palsy have a joint program, and basically this is a really good example because they recognize the potential of combining for a more powerful voice for people with disabilities through a joint government affairs office. And with informal collaboration, two organizations might begin to operate informally by sharing information and referring clients to each other. This requires less time and energy and is not considered highly integrated. So there are some differences between collaboration, cooperation, and coordination. And basically this chart just sums them up. There are four essential elements, which include vision and relationships, structure and responsibilities, authority and accountability, resources and rewards. And when it comes to vision and relationships with cooperation, organizational mission and goals are not considered. For coordination, mission and goals of the individual organizations are reviewed for compatibility. And with collaboration, this shows how through the efforts of combining forces, new common mission and goals are created. And with structure and responsibilities, no joint planning is required, and some project-specific planning is required for coordination. And for collaboration, there's more comprehensive planning that is required, like the examples that I used in the previous slide. And for authority and accountability, for cooperation, leadership is unilateral and control is central. For coordination, some sharing of leadership and control is present, and for collaboration, leadership is dispersed and control is shared. For resources and rewards, resources are separate with cooperation, and for coordination, resources are acknowledged, and with collaboration, resources are pooled for longer term. This brings us to networks. A network is a broad alliance of organizations that cooperate but function separately. There is no contract binding a network together, but nonprofits find networks to be useful for information sharing. For example, the United Way is responsible for its network of agencies who receive funding from them, the community who donates, and its own staff members. Many agencies join networks like the United Way to secure funding and to have a stronger support system. There are two main theories for collaboration, the first being resource dependency theory. This just assumes that organizations seek resources necessary to their survival and must stimulate interactions and exchanges with each other. This secures funding that they could not receive alone. And also, the dependence on more resources helps explain why they might be interested in collaborating. If nonprofits decide to merge as part of the agreement, funding will be saved on rent and utilities. So this is a main reason as why they feel like this theory would contribute to collaboration in a positive way. For institutional theory, this is where resources originate from, and they may encourage nonprofits to collaborate. Organizations feel a need to develop shared responsibilities to issues facing an organizational field. This brings us to a technique used in it's often used by managers who collaborate, and it's environmental analysis. And basically, with environmental analysis, you have four aspects. Assessing is the first, and it's just the nature and the ability or the quality of the environment. And scanning is the second. It's alerting management or staff to trends that are converging, diverging, speeding up, slowing down, or interacting. Monitoring is a third, and this is where you observe and check the progress or quality of an environment over a period of time. And forecasting is the last one, and this is where you predict or estimate the future. So there are four main challenges when it comes to collaborations and networks. The first being turf issues, the second being cost time required, the third being incompatible mission, vision, and values, and the fourth being cultural differences. So with the turf issues, this just brings us to the point that an organization perceives itself to be dominant in a specific field, and because of its size and scope, this can bring problems to the other organization who may not be as dominant. So with cost time required, this also is a major problem because the formation requires a large amount of commodities, which include, of course, time and money. And when you have these large amounts of time and money being invested in an organization, this can, of course, bring many challenges. Our third challenge, incompatible mission, vision, and values, this just simply means that the condition for the collaboration and operations are unfavorable when the two organizations are divided by major differences. And this leaves little room for flexibility when it comes to mission, vision, and values. The last one being cultural differences, and cultural differences is a major issue. And because many nonprofits typically use volunteers as well as well-paid staff personnel, human resources is also a major issue, and it's very complex. This brings us to my last point, best practice recommendations. With best practice recommendations, this can simply kind of solve the challenges that I just discussed. And the first one being maintaining strong relationships with collaborators. The second one being using the mission statement as an anchor when developing those strong relationships. And the third one, expanding collaborative efforts.